Hey guys, it's Jamie.
And I'm Amanda, and we're with Siouxland Libraries.
And Amanda, today we're going to do a really special Kids Discover where we're going to experiment with some sub-zero temperatures.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Some dry ice.
Ooh, super cool.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we gonna do first?
I'm so glad you asked. Today we are going to do experiments with dry ice.
What is dry ice?
It's a great question. So dry ice is compressed CO2, which just means it was pressed really hard, squeezed really tightly, and frozen into this form.
All right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about dry ice, that looks super cold, like colder than normal ice.
Yes, it is so cold. So it's negative 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit.
Isn't ice like 32?
Yes, ice freezes from like the water state to the solid state at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is way colder than that, which is why I have these gloves.
Okay, all right, so I won't touch it.
Yes.
You will touch the ice. Got it.
So we've got our dry ice here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it inside this bowl, okay? You may have seen kind of what happens after you put dry ice in water, but usually you get a really cool effect.
Yeah.
It starts to form up this gas.
Yeah, it looks like there's some, okay.
Do you wanna add some water for us?
Woo!
Yes, there we go.
All right, so that water's hitting the ice, obviously.
Yes.
Is that, so that's releasing some of that gas then?
It is. So not only is dry ice so cold, but it's really cool because it doesn't melt. It goes straight from this solid form straight to gas, and that's called sublimation.
What?
Yeah, can you say that?
Sublimation?
Sublimation. It goes straight from a solid to a gas. No liquid phase at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and trap some of this gas here.
Okay.
I've got just like a paper towel here that is in some soapy water.
You just use like regular
Just regular dish soap.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and slide it across our bowl here.
Are you trying to like capture that?
I am gonna try and capture it into a really big bubble. See if we can get it.
Cool. Oh, it looks like you might have got it.
Yes. So now we've got our bubble on here, and what's gonna happen is as our carbon dioxide or our dry ice starts to then change into that gas form, it's gonna start to get trapped inside of our bubble, causing it to grow and get bigger. Pretty cool, right?
That was super cool.
So let's see if we can make a bigger bubble.
Okay.
I'm gonna add a little bit more ice, and then do you mind adding a little bit more water?
Okay.
Eventually the water starts to cool down to a point where it doesn't create as much gas anymore. So it's good to always kind of add more water or maybe dump out some of your really cold water and get fresh.
Okay.
So get our soapy cloth here. There we go.
Oh, that looks like it's holding so good.
Oh, I've got good feelings about this one. I think it's gonna be like a giant, beautiful bubble.
Look at those colors. That's so cool.
That kind of rainbow effect.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
neat.
gorgeous?
So
Getting so big.
That is awesome. Oh my goodness, it's gonna have to go somewhere at some point.
Like, how cool is science? This is amazing.
This is incredible. Oh, that's so awesome.
It's gotta pop soon.
It's so close. Maybe.
It almost looks like a cupcake.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
So yes, this is kind of like our very large dry ice bubble experiment,
That's
but
super neat.
I thought, what if we made them a little bit smaller and we tried to catch them
Like in our hands?
in our hands?
Oh, I can't wait. Let's do it.
Yes. So we made a really big bubble, and now we're gonna make some smaller bubbles that hopefully you can hold in your hand and maybe even bounce.
Really? Without
Yes.
it popping?
Without it popping, all I'm gonna need is you to put on those really bright green gloves.
Perfect.
Yes.
Love them.
And I'm gonna put on my large black glove again, because again, we wanna be safe while we're handling the dry ice.
So we're doing like same thing here.
Yeah, it's a similar concept where we're gonna put this dry ice here in the water, and immediately you can see that dry ice touches the water and it starts to sublimate and produce that gas.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to see like what's happening in the water here.
You can see those the gas bubbles kind of rushing off, which is really neat.
That's so awesome.
So now I've got that going, and I'm going to take my lid here.
Okay.
And I've got this tube, and when I put the lid on, the gas comes out the tube.
Right, and you didn't put the lid all the way down, it looks like.
Right. Nope, I just kind of set it on gently.
Okay.
So
That's
because
all it
it's
takes.
producing all this gas, if I put a lid on there and I seal it,
Not
it can
good.
actually be kind of like too much of a pressure bomb. So
Okay.
we don't want that.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I'm going to dip this in our soapy water again. And now if I put the lid on, I can get this.
Oh,
We can get a little baby bubble
Oh!
that pops.
Oh!
But see, it holds in your hand, but it pops in mine.
What?
Do you
Why
notice
does
that?
this work? I don't under.
So there's lots of oils and salt and dirt on my hand that as soon as the bubble kind of touches my skin, it pops. Whereas when you have it on that green glove,
That's so cool.
it's clean and it makes it so that the bubble doesn't pop.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that
this
awesome?
Is so neat.
So let's see if we can get another one going here.
Whoa! That's so cool.
Yeah, so can you kind of pass it from hand to hand, maybe bounce it? No worries, I'll make you a new
Apparently
bubble. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Now you're getting it. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
And again, it doesn't pop because the glove's a clean surface, whereas our hands are full of dirt,
just
salt,
like
things like
normal
that.
Dusts. And
Yeah,
stuff?
and normal dust. So even sometimes like your clothing, you could bounce it on your knee.
This is so neat.
Yes.
It didn't even break on
It
there?
didn't pop on the table. So sometimes, like earlier, we had a ton of soapy water on this table. So it's a nice
Yeah.
clean surface
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
where we can make like a little baby igloo.
It's just like our other one.
Yeah. You see how long it took for you to pop it with your finger
so
there?
neat.
Whereas if I touch it with my finger, immediately.
All right. See if I can get a big one here.
Yeah, of course.
So to do this at home, that's all you need is just like a container that you can kind of close off with like
Yeah.
a little bit of a hose coming off of
Yep.
it to get, wow,
A little
that's
bit
just,
of a hose.
it's
You
so
can use
cool.
like a large coffee container or any kind of a rubber container. And then you just need an adult to kind of cut the side to get the hole for
Sure.
the pipe to go in or the tubing to go in.
Wow, it's really, really neat.
Yes.
Do you want to put on some gloves and try it too?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right.
So what'd you think about the dry ice experiments?
This is so cool. I honestly had no idea you could do so much with just a little bit of ice. It's so rad.
So
Watching
awesome.
it like go from, you said straight solid to gas. Like
Yes.
that concept is so crazy to
That
me.
sublimation is so cool to see in action.
It's super neat. And you know, where do I learn more about dry ice or some of the experiments that I can do with them?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have tons of books at the library that have other dry ice experiments, and we grabbed a couple to show you guys. So one of them I found, and it's called Cool Dry Ice Devices. And what I really love about this book is not only does it share different dry ice experiments, but it also talks about like what is dry ice and the safety of it when you're handling it, how it's made, all sorts of things. So this is a really cool book if you want to learn more about dry ice and some extra experiments you want to do with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So something I forgot to ask you, where do I get dry ice?
Yeah, so dry ice can be found at some of your local grocery stores, and then there's even some specialty like ice stores that sell dry ice.
Awesome. Well, you have your book there, and I chose this new one that we've got. It's called Try This Extreme. It's a bunch of different science experiments, but I specifically grabbed it because it's got the dry ice bubble experiment in it.
That's awesome.
And it's so cool that we got to do that today because I just thought this looks so fun. And the whole book's got a lot of really cool experiments. We have so many books featuring all kinds of different science experiments. Definitely come on down and check them out.
Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.